every movie has random trivia. And here at Trivial Theater, I explore some of these movies and the random circumstances that make them the weird creations that we love. This week, I've got obscure sci-fi horror from the 80s in mind. Actually, it is a mind. This is The Brain. After a logo that makes you go, whoa! We find ourselves in the Christmas season, as we're introduced to a subtly named program called Independent Thinking. A teen is attacked by a room that lashes out like an angsty 15-year-old. It's quite an intense scene, but let me be clear, the scariest thing aren't the veiny tentacles or the hand coming out of the TV. It's that creepy-ass unicorn poster. After this moment of horror, a brain breaks through the mirror and knocks this unfortunate teen out a window. We pick up in one of the most awkward set high school scenes I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Jim is a prankster who blows up a bunch of toilets using sodium, a thing that will clearly have no payoff later. The principal catches him and exclaims the only answer to his tomfoolery is the Psychological Research Center, home to the program Independent Thinking. Sounds like a pretty reputable, clearly not evil place to me. As Jim is tested, it's revealed that a massive brain alien thing exerts control behind the scenes. After failing to seduce him, the brain takes out its frustrations on a research assistant and gains a face by doing so. Maybe this is just semantics, but how does a sentient brain have a digestive system? Anyway, Jim escapes and immediately starts hallucinating that a tentacle has replaced his steering wheel. I wonder if that comes standard in 80s vehicles. Anyway, his car crashes and somehow he's able to walk away despite probably having massive internal injuries. After gaining allies in his girlfriend Janet and this random disposable guy, they track down the brain, ending up in a boiler room, which gives me massive Freddy Krueger vibes. Random disposable guy gets randomly disposed of, and our heroic couple retreat to a high school where they have a hands-on biology lesson. The Brain and company capture Janet, and Jim has to retreat again, leading the cops on a chase where this POS of a vehicle outruns a cop car. Only in Canada, am I right? Eventually, Jim makes it back to the Institute to stop a plan to hypnotize the world via television program and to save his lady love. After we learn that sunglasses are the best possible disguise, you could easily change the name of this movie to Stairs. Cause damn, our boys are constantly doing flights. Jim frees Janet, and they find themselves in a Raiders of the Lost Ark style storage area with a shit ton of caution, sodium and use signs. If I'm honest, it seems a tad weird for a psychological research institute to have that much sodium on hand, but what do I know? The Brain, having somehow eaten a ton of people, has grown to massive proportions and chases down our hero. He throws everything but the kitchen sink at the oversized mind, and finally, for some reason, throws a canister of sodium at it. The Brain explodes, proving that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Credits roll, and we're reminded that the washroom scene is a dramatic representation. Combining sodium and water may cause serious injury. Do not attempt. So, The Brain is a Canadian horror movie from 1988. It's packed full of the cheesy goodness that you can only hope for in a really good bad B-movie. This was my first time seeing it, and I gotta say I'm a fan. The concept is so over the top, and the ridiculousness is almost turned up to 11. Plus, it was released on Laserdisc. I mean, does it get any better than that? Like a lot of B-movies, there are some interesting points about culture and what we take away from the things we watch. Intentional or not, it's got echoes of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, as everyone in town is hypnotized to do what the alien cerebellum wants them to do. Whether you're talking about the messages that we take in, or just the trend of people bandwagoning, it's a valid point then and now. David Gale, who played the mad scientist, is the right mix of creepy and charismatic. He's otherwise known for the classic B-movie Reanimator. Now, even though Janet and Jim are a perceived romantic couple, I think the real shining example is the Brain and Varna, the creepy nurse guy. Their love is Romeo and Juliet-esque, doomed from the moment that Varna gave the Brain "come hither eyes." Doomed even more as a supersized version of the Brain plows down Varna and ultimately swallows him. The effects of the Brain feel pretty solid for a late 80s movie, and the progression from faceless, evil, normal Brain to demonic, toothy version are a lot of fun to watch. At first, the idea of sodium taking out our mental antagonists struck me as a little random, but when you think about how too much sodium, i.e. salt, is bad for you, increasing your risk for brain-related problems such as cerebral vascular disease, stroke, and cognitive impairment, it makes a little bit more sense. On the other hand, this being an alien brain, it may not have the same effect. Honestly, it still kind of feels like the same ballpark as water taking out the aliens in Signs. The Brain isn't the easiest movie to track down, but it's got a great mix of schlocky 80s effects, over-the-top dramatic moments, and a shit ton of stares. I really did enjoy this one, and I swear I'm not being controlled by a hypnotic hippocampus to say that. Or am I? Now listen to the brain. Like this vid and subscribe to my channel now.